Hi, welcome back to Mark Deeks Music as I take you through 7 of the greatest piano riffs of all time. And we're up to number 6. How are you getting on so far? This one is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Let's get started. So, again, as is becoming a recurring theme in quite a few of these great piano riffs, we're looking at the use of broken chords, where we take what could have been 3 notes all together, but we put them in a pair and a single note, a pair and a single note. So let's look at what notes we need for this riff. We're starting in the right hand with an E and a B. You need to stretch out your second finger, that's your index finger, and your little finger, it's number 5 in piano playing. Stretch them out a little bit because you're going to need your thumb at this lower B down here. And we rock backwards and forwards between the pair and the lower note. 4 sets of that. Then into bar 2, we swap the E for an F sharp. Sharp means to go 1 note higher, so an F sharp is 1 note higher than an F. So we're going to put our middle finger on that note and keep our little finger on the top B and our thumb for the lower B, and we have 4 sets of that. Again, pair, single note, pair, single note. The third bar is the same as the first in the right hand, so back to the E and the B. And then in bar 4, we move down so that our second finger is on a C sharp, it's 1 higher than C. And our little finger is now on an A, and our thumb is ready for the lower A, an octave lower. And we have 4 sets of that. So the first half of the riff goes like this. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4. Now let's try the second half. It starts the same, the E and B pair with the low B in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the second bar is the same as it was in the first half. Now we've got the F sharp and B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the third bar in the second half changes. Instead of an E and a B, which is what we had before, now we need a D sharp and B. D sharp being 1 note higher than D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the last bar is the same as it was in the first half. C sharp and A. So let's go through that. The full riff. 3, 4, 1 and 2. E and B moves to F sharp and B. Back to E and B. Down to C sharp and A. Starts again with the E and B. Goes up to the F sharp and B. This time we need a D sharp and B for the third bar. And then a C sharp and A as it was before. So that's what the right hand's doing. Let's look at the left hand. So the left hand starts down here with a low E. And the rhythm that we're going to get in this first bar is really key to the sort of iconic sound of this riff. We play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that each part of this riff finishes on the 4 and it means we're anticipating the next chord each time. This term anticipation means a chord changes just before we expect it to, commonly half a beat before we expect it to. So we get to the end of our riff just before the beginning of the next bar each time. So we start with an E, then we need an F sharp, a G sharp, and a B in this rhythm. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We finish on an and. Then the next part, same rhythm, starting on the 3 and 4 and. So it's starting halfway between the 3rd and the 4th beat, and 4 and, with this one being a C sharp, a D sharp, and back to a C sharp. Then the next one, the and 4 and, is a D sharp, and E, and an A. And then the last part of the first half of the riff starts the same, D sharp, E, down to a low E. And that's what's going to allow us to start again, for it to loop back round as many riffs do. In fact, riff means like a repeating phrase, repeating hook. So let's look at the left hand for the full first half of the riff. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we've arrived back at that low E. We start the riff again. But this time you might remember that the 3rd chord changes. So we go C sharp, D sharp, down to a low G sharp. In the first half of the riff we did this. C sharp, D sharp, C sharp. But in the second half of the riff we do C sharp, D sharp, down to a low G sharp. G sharp, 1 note higher than G. Then the last part of the riff, you stretch your hand into what we call an octave shape. So we've got a low G sharp on our little finger and a high G sharp on our thumb. And we play this. So high G sharp, low G sharp, A. And then we finish off with D sharp, E. So the left hand for the whole of the riff does this. 2, 3, 4. So put it with the right hand. Keep it quite slow to begin, to start and work on the coordination. So we need this E and B pair in the right hand with a low B ready to go. And a low E in the left hand. 2, 3, 4. Then you would start again. The main riff to Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. I hope you managed to keep up with that. Have a practice, pause the video when you need to. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more tips and tutorial videos very soon.